Hello, everyone. Welcome to Harmony Within. Today, we're going to talk about Jean Martin Charcot, the man who changed how we understand hysteria. Imagine a packed lecture hall in 19th century Paris. The audience leans forward as a woman on stage suddenly collapses, her face frozen in pain. A man calmly narrates what's happening, pointing out symptoms like a scientist observing a rare specimen. That man is Jean Martin Charcot, one of the most influential neurologists in history, and the person who transferred hysteria from a mysterious woman's illness into a subject of scientific study. Today we're going to explore who Charcot was, what he believed about hysteria, and why his ideas still matter today. He was born in Paris in 1825 and became a physician at the famous Salpêtrière Hospital, which housed thousands of women diagnosed with mental illness, epilepsy, or unexplained physical symptoms. At a time when medicine was still deeply influenced by superstition and moral judgment, Charcot insisted on something radical. He believed that mental disorders should be studied scientifically, just like physical diseases. Before Charcot, hysteria was poorly understood and heavily gendered. The word itself comes from the Greek hystera, meaning uterus. For centuries, hysteria was thought to be caused by a wandering womb and was used to explain everything from anxiety to paralysis, exclusively in women. So, Greek physicians believed that many physical and psychological symptoms in women were caused by a problem with the womb itself, because it was believed to be a mobile organ that could move freely inside a woman's body. If it became dry or dissatisfied, often due to lack of sexual activity or lack of childbirth, it was thought to wander upward, pressing against other organs, resulting in symptoms such as paralysis with no physical injury, seizure like episodes, blindness or muteness, emotional outbursts, and dissociation. Common treatments of hysteria in ancient Greece were marriage, pregnancy, or regular sexual activity as the most effective cure. This reflected both medical theory and social expectations of women at the time. Even later on, during 17th, 18th centuries, hysteria was dismissed. One physician called it a mockingbird of nosology because of its tendency to run the gamut from migraine to paralysis, fainting, difficulty in breathing, and even nymphomania. Most doctors thought of it as exaggeration, weakness, or moral failure. Charcot didn't. He argued that hysteria was a real neurological condition, not imagination or deception. He carefully documented patients' symptoms and categorized patterns in their behavior. One of his most controversial tools was hypnosis. Charcot believed it could both trigger and relieve hysterical symptoms, proving that the disorder had a neurological basis. During his famous public lectures, sometimes called medical theater, Charcot would hypnotize patients in front of audiences of doctors, writers, and intellectuals. These demonstrations made him a celebrity. Importantly, he showed that men could also suffer from hysteria, especially after trauma such as war injuries. And this helped shift hysteria away from being seen as a purely female condition. Charcot's influence extended to a young medical student named Sigmund Freud, who studied under him in Paris. Charcot's work helped Freud realize that psychological trauma could produce real physical symptoms. While Freud later rejected Charcot's neurological explanations, he built on them to develop psychoanalysis. In this way, Charcot helped lay the groundwork for psychosomatic medicine, trauma studies, modern understandings of conversion and dissociative disorders. By treating hysteria as something to be understood rather than dismissed, Charcot would eventually be called the father of modern neurology, and his influence extended far beyond France. Charcot opened the door to modern neurology and psychology. Thanks for watching. Bye.